sound of his deep whistle, huge plumes of black smoke, and aroma of his coal-fired boilers meant the railroad car ferry Chief Wawatam was back in town. These sights, sounds, and smells were once a daily part of life in the Michigan communities of St. Ignace and Mackinaw City for over 7 decades. When built in 1911, it was the largest icebreaking ferry in the world and served as a vital link between the state's upper and lower peninsulas. Even after its ultimate scrapping in 2009, many still hold a soft spot in their hearts for the vessel. Let's dive into the Chief's history and learn about what made it so special. The Straits of Mackinac is a connecting waterway between Lake Michigan and Huron, forming an important waterway between Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. Separated on either side of the peninsula are the cities of Mackinac and St. Ignace. The first railroad to reach the area in 1881 was the Michigan Central Railroad, running north from Detroit through Saginaw. A year later, the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad also reached the Straits, linking the cities of Mackinac, Traverse, Grand Rapids, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. Meanwhile, on the North Shore, the Detroit, Mackinac, and Marquette Railroad ran west from St. Ignace across the Upper Peninsula. Although rails now link the area with the rest of the country, allowing Mackinaw City and St. Ignace to flourish, one obstacle remained: the Straits of Mackinac. In October 1881, these three railroad companies incorporated the Mackinac Transportation Company, a year-round rail ferry service that would allow their lines to interchange both passengers and freight between the peninsulas. The first rail ferry to cross the straits was the Algoma, a 128-foot package freighter. However, it was quickly found the vessel was rather unfit for freight service because cargo would have to be transshipped in barrels between rail and boat. Shortly thereafter, they purchased a small barge capable of carrying 4 rail cars for the Algoma to tow. As rail traffic quickly outpaced the capacity of its vessels, the Mackinac Transportation Company had a brand new icebreaking ferry built. The 280-foot St. Ignace entered service in 1888 and could carry 10 rail cars on its deck. In 1893, the St. Marie joined the fleet with a carrying capacity of 18 rail cars. Finally, in 1911, the company had their largest and first steel car ferry constructed by the Toledo Shipbuilding Company, Chief Wawatam. The vessel was named after Ojibwe Chief Wawatam, known for rescuing British fur trader Alexander Henry during a Native American uprising near present-day Mackinaw City in 1763. Designed by famed naval architect Frank E. Kirby, the Chief measured 332 feet long, 62 feet in beam, and a depth of 25 feet. Depending on the length of the rail equipment, Wawatam could haul between 26 to 20 freight cars or 18 passenger cars on its 3-deck tracks. Unlike the St. Ignace and Marie, the Chief had 3 propellers, 2 aft and 1 on its bow used for ice breaking.
The bow propeller would suck the water out from underneath the ice, and then the weight and movement of the ship going forward would break it. And it was very effective. They figured this out by when they backed into the ice, that the ice would, break more easily because it was brittle, and make for a lot easier transshipment through the ice fields. And so Captain Louis Boynton, was the one that really kind of pioneered the technology in terms of he literally tied 2 vessels bow to bow, so he had propellers on both ends, and tested it, and it worked well. Besides the bow propeller, it was the spoon-shaped bow, which again helped the ship kind of ride up on that ice. And then really another basic thing that a lot of people don't think about is they needed horsepower. They needed a lot of horsepower to power through this ice. And so, the engines were more than sufficient to get these size vessels through the ice.
Despite the 8.7-mile-long route only being about a 2-hour round trip, the vessel boasted exquisite passenger accommodations.
She had 3 dining rooms on the upper decks, a galley, and then passenger quarters for a crew of about 54. And the idea behind this was she would carry the Lake Superior Limited passenger train. And so it was an opportunity for once they loaded the passenger cars on the Chief, the passengers could get off out of the cars and go up on deck and be able to see the straits and stretch their legs and possibly get something to eat from the galley. And then, of course, during the winter, the possibility that the ship would get stuck in the ice and then the passengers would have to get off anyway and still be fed and again have more room to kind of stretch out. They had some extra passenger lounges. I believe it's both the men and women's passenger lounge upstairs for them to, go up and kind of relax and wait.
In 1916, the Mackinaw Transportation Company began offering personal automobile owners to take their cars on the ferry. This arrangement, though, was short-lived because it limited the amount of rail cars the Chief and St. Marie could carry, and the public became dissatisfied with the high rates the railroads were charging. In response to these complaints, in 1923, the Michigan Highway Department established the Michigan State Ferry System. Despite the loss of this additional traffic, the Chief continued transporting many passengers in freight trains in the mid-1900s.
They were hauling all kinds of different materials, lots of boxcar type of um, commodities, products that had been manufactured, but also iron ore, copper, coal. Later years, it was different types of liquids, gas, probably food products.
Both these streams of revenue all slowly started changing during and after World War II, though. In 1944, the United States Coast Guard's new Great Lakes icebreaker named Mackinaw took over the Chief's previous vital role of icebreaking in the Straits. Railroads' passenger trains were also beginning to be discontinued as personal automobiles became more affordable and the development of America's highway and interstate systems. The biggest erosion to the Wawatam's use came apparent in 1957 when the Mackinac Bridge opened, connecting Michigan's peninsulas by road. With freight also gradually shifting from transportation by rail to road, trucks began taking away the ferry's livelihood. Between 1951 and 1970, the Mackinac Transportation Company saw nearly a 94% decrease in freight traffic. Bankrupt by this point, then railroad owners Soo Line and Penn Central filed their car ferry service for abandonment with the Interstate Commerce Commission. Despite the ICC granting their request, the state of Michigan took over its operation through subsidization in 1976. The arrangement only lasted for just under a decade, though.
The rail car traffic across the straits had really declined to, I think, to about the point of they were just crossing once a week. And then the other thing that happened was that in August of 1984, the apron where the Chief came across in St. Ignace, it collapsed and it was not functional anymore. And the state did not want to put money into fixing that facility to be able to, and that was the only place the Chief could dock and get the cars off. And so that was really, at that point, it was the decline. They didn't really know that it was the last trip, but that's what ended up happening, was that the dock was not fixed.
For 5 years, the Chief remained docked in Mackinaw City as his future remained in limbo. The state looked into other uses for the car ferry, including converting it into a museum, a floating hotel, or excursion vessel.
I think one thing that people don't realize is that it costs a lot of money to maintain a ship, whether it's being actively run or just tied up at a dock. I mean, even dockage fees, because the dock she was at was a state of Michigan dock, and a lot of the local efforts, they weren't able to raise the money to do that type of project, because even by this point, the ship was over 70 years old and had gone through a number of different repairs in terms of boilers and engines and all that kind of thing. So it probably would have needed a lot of work even to make it functional as any one of those possibilities. The state of Michigan decided to sell the ship, and so they took bids, and the winning bidder was Purvis Marine of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And so Mr. Purvis purchased the ship and had it taken up to Sault Ste. Marie, and basically her cabins and her all of her decking was basically cut down to the car deck and used as a barge. But one of the things that happened before that was we as an entity, Mackinac State Historic Parks, our staff was asked to go on board and decide what should be saved. And so our staff did that, and the plan was that they wanted to build a transportation museum over in St. Ignace, kind of next to where the toll booth is by the bridge. And so they were going to take all these things off the ship and then put them into this new museum. Well, unfortunately, the governors changed and the money kind of disappeared, and so that it was never done. But we did end up taking all these items off, everything from a lifeboat down to a bag of her coal from her bunkers. And so we still maintain that collection here with Mackinac State Historic Parks. We have a few things on display in our lighthouse here in Mackinaw City. We have her wheel, one of her Chadburns, one of her life rings. But even a lot of the stuff is just in storage for future use and to preserve it. But eventually, Purvis used the ship as the barge for a number of years, hauling steel rolls, big pieces of rock. But eventually, it's probably been about 10 years. The barge just deteriorated to the point of not being able to be even used as a barge anymore, and so he did scrap it, and so there's nothing left of it, unfortunately.
Despite that the Chief was ultimately scrapped, there are still many places in upper Michigan and even eastern Wisconsin where you can see on display preserved artifacts from the ship.
So of her 3 engines, the bow engine is on display in the Wisconsin Maritime Museum in Manitowoc. And then the two stern engines were removed, and the last I knew, they're trying to do the same type of thing, putting it on display over in St. Ignace, and there's, I believe, a group working on trying to do that. And then the last I knew, that the third engine is still, I think, sitting up in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I think they may be looking for a buyer for it. I'm not sure. The apron is still here. It's the same dock where the 1944 built Mackinac is now tied up as a museum. I know there is starting to be some effort here in Mackinaw City about preserving that apron and dock, because it's as far as we know, the last apron of that style, a wood apron used for rail ferry movement, and so it is trying to be preserved right now, but it is still visible. The one in St. Ignace is pretty much gone. They scrapped that out a few years ago to make it. It's actually a public dock now where people can walk out there, and there's a lighthouse and there's some signage about the Chief and the other railroad ferries that serve the port. And then we actually have on loan some of our items from our collection to St. Ignace, and they're in a small kiosk on that dock with a lot of information about the ship.
Wawatam's history has not only captured the fascination for locals and tourists alike, but even some model railroad enthusiasts. Fran Tesserero scratch-built an N-scale model of the Chief and is currently modeling the Mackinaw City rail dock area for his layout.
I started the ship a year ago, and I had a friend of mine who's also a model railroader, who's also a YouTuber. And he said, we were talking about it. I said, yeah, I really want to do this, but there's just no ship models out there that you could, adapt to it. He said, well, there's a will, there's a way. Well, I found these prints of somewhat of a blueprint from a top view and a side view. I found those on the internet, and I printed those out to scale. And I had to selectively compress the ship to meet my requirements of space. I didn't want the ship to take up the whole module. And so I did that. I took the actual measurements and then multiplied it or divided it by 2/3 or something like that to come up with the measurements that still left it in scale and looked appropriate, even though it wasn't the actual scale size. So I'm modeling the Grand Rapids and Indiana line from Grand Rapids to Petoskey. And then with this module, this allows me to head all the way up to Mackinaw City. To me, it's a combination of the research that I did on the Grand Rapids in Indiana, how it tied into the chief, and our visits up there just accelerated that desire to build a module that represented that, and the fact that it's rarely ever modeled, and it's a cool little thing, I think, and it'll give me operational aspects that most people wouldn't have on the way.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed learning more about the Chief Wawatam. To help support the channel, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Railroad Street for more content just like this. Thanks everyone, I really appreciate it.